Solid B. Solid B. The World Tag Team match was, it was what it was, but yeah, I mean, all right, we are live. We've been live for about a minute. I apologize, guys. I'm trying to get my thing to come up so that I can start, so that I can do the promotion on Twitter, but it somehow, for some reason, won't come up. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more promoting here. Let's see. I don't know why. Don't know why the Twitter thing is not. Because you see, that's how things would go, right? Yeah, that's how things would go. Exactly how things really were to go. But this, all in all, was a fantastic WrestleMania. First, good night one, really, really good, and we're gonna go over um, the card and the matches and the start of it. The start of it was, in fact, they come out there. Well, first off, even before that, even like an hour or two before the show even started, there was rains, and they had told the fans to take cover because it was going to be rain and lightning, and so then there was some talk about maybe it would be delayed, and then it was, and then it cleared up, and then enough that they said, okay, you can come back down, take your seat. The fans took a seat. It was about 25 minutes, and then we came out there, and night one, Vince starts out there. He wants to sit out there and thank the, he wants to thank the fans for all that they did and everything like that. And then they have BB Rexa singing "America the Beautiful," great rendition for BB. And then we go into a little thing for Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. We come back, Adam Cole. Michael Cole is sitting up there. He's telling us that there is, now going to be a little bit of a rain delay, weather delay. I guess because it was lightning, and that's what that was. So I was like, wow. And so we sat there for about 20-25 minutes through the lightning delay. Uh, and but but it was unreal. And so that one was a good one. And um, so I think it's incredible to what their not their innate ability to power through the WWE and get things done. And um, so that was all good, and that was all grandy, and it was good. I'm glad we was able to get the night started off, and it started off with the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. And well, these two had one hell of a match. And they did their thing. They went out there and they put everything on the line. And yeah, just incredible stuff. That they had to go out there first, and and they did what they were supposed to do. They got the crowd hot for it, and some big power moves and used two big guys, and they did some great stuff. And came down to it. Surprisingly to me, uh, Bobby Lashley, beat Drew McIntyre, put him in the hurt lock, and he passed out. So the the Bobby Lashley, the Almighty era continues. And to be honest, I think that's the right decision. I think a lot of people, myself included, thought that maybe um, um, thought that maybe they were gonna put the title back on Drew and give Drew his opportunity to have to be out there in front of fans and have a thing. But Bobby Lashley's been so hot and he's been on a real streak. And he's been on a real dominant streak. And I think the opportunity is to keep him with the championship. I think that's actually the right idea. So I'm glad they went ahead and they're keeping the title on him. So I think that's a good thing. As for the match, I give it 4.25 stars. Thought it was really good. And apparently, um, there's not a lot of these matches aren't necessarily truly long matches. Apparently, all the matches. I don't know about the main event, but before the main event, I was listening to something and someone said, hey, we've got all of the matches have gone. None of the matches have gone over 15 minutes. And the main and except the first one. The first one was like 15:32. So I don't know how long the last one went, but um, really short night for everybody. But I think that was a good way they did it. I think that's what they probably did. I think they may have. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was because of the weather delay or if they just did what it was. But I think they went ahead and I think they went ahead and I think they cut out um, they cut out some stuff. So some really good stuff. It was incredible and really good. Okay. Good night. And really glad that they did their thing. So that was awesome. Um, they said 30 minutes. We got some stuff here and everything. So I don't know. The next match was the tag team turmoil match. These were going to determine who would be the winners of the to face the women's tag team championship tomorrow night. And we started Naomi and Lana versus Carmella and Billy Kay. They were added yesterday to the turmoil match. That did not um, just did me at all. I picked my people. I just picked them. And it's um I think it's unreal for what they did and with that and it was good. I think that Billy Kay she really had a bad. She everybody had a bad night. She had a bad night. there was some slip ups and mess ups and things that didn't connect that she sold, and it was very obvious. And it's I know that that's a dream to be a wrestler, but she should be more a part of the entertainment side. She should, she should really think about being more of the part of the entertainment side of the wrestling business than actually being in the wrestling business. She should be a female manager. She did all these things and things like that. She should be like a female man. Maybe like how MVP was before MVP got hurt. Just go ahead and take some bumps and things like that. So hold on a second. All right, folks. Sorry about that. We got a little something going on in the kitchen. Uh, so yeah. But even though Billy Kay had a bad night, they won the first match. They rolled up Lana and Naomi, and then out came the Riot Squad, and the Riot Squad came out, and they tried to do the same thing, and to cheat to win because when Billy Kay rolled up Naomi, Carmella had her feet on her back, on Billy Kay's back. But this time she got caught. Riot Squad defeated Carmella and Naomi. And then out came Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And Mandy's trending on Twitter because of this, because she unfortunately took a fail. Um, she took a fail. It was raining and things like that, and she was slipping, and she slipped and fell right on her butt. And Dana Brooke did. I'm watching the video right now. Dana Brooke didn't even take she didn't even notice. She was just walking in her stuff. So um, it's yeah, it's unfortunate. And some people are, that's not the WrestleMania moment that you would want. But whatever. You fail. But they got in the ring and they went and they did each other's thing, and they had a little bit of a tussle with the Riot Squad. But the Riot Squad gained them and gained a victory over them. And then out came Tamina and Natalia, and um, they went through their things as well. And Natalia got the victory by Tamina getting her WrestleMania moment and splashing off the top rope. Um, Um, I think it was Ruby Rose. Not Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose is a different person. Ruby Riott to get the victory, and they are going on to face Nia Jax and Tamina tomorrow night at WrestleMania for the Women's Tag Team Championships. I gave it 3 stars. Other than you know, other than the the screw ups by um, the screw by Billy Kay. There was nothing really bad about this. Um, again, and it was what it was. I think all the women got enough time, and they were good enough. So, yeah, I gave this 3 stars. Um, The next match was the Rollins and Cesaro match, and this one was really good too. Um, really good. We had some good stuff here. Got both guys bringing back. Not only are they doing moves like from their WWE past, but also maybe like some moves from like their past with friends and things like that. I think at one point Rollins does the forearms to the back of the head, which was what's his face's Chris Hero's move when he was catches on him. That was his move. And then we know that Cesaro does the sharpshooter in honor of Tyson Kidd, and Rollins hit the pedigree. Back from his days, he was going for the Revolution knee that didn't hurt, and of course Cesaro hit the swing twice. The first one he did for a little bit. He did for about he did 10 revolutions. His arm was hurting because Rollins were working on the arm. But toward the end of the match, he does the airplane spin with no hands and does that. And Rollins does that. Then he does the giant swing. And he does that for about 23 revolutions. And then he picks him up, hits the guy, neutralized the 1, 2, 3. The winner is Cesaro. Really, really fun match. Glad for Cesaro. This is WrestleMania moment. His first singles match in WrestleMania. Um, yeah, good for Cesaro. And now he is perfect. He is perfect. I think again, like I said, he is perfect. He is good enough to go into the Intercontinental Championship. He's good enough to go for the World Championship. It's time to make him a superstar. It is. It is time to make him a superstar. Uh, some people might say should be a superstar when you first join in, but time him to make him a superstar now. You got the opportunity, run with it. Next was the Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day, and this was a very interesting match. Even the fans didn't necessarily know how to. Either the fans didn't know how to react to this, or they just wanted to see Omos because they did cheer when Omos got tagged in. But really, this was almost a reverse to what tag team matches is. Usually, the tag match is that the heels work over the babyface, and then the babyface makes the hot tag. This was the babyface was working over the heel, and then the heel can make the hot tag. And this was something. This was done in just one way. This was done to get the hot tag to Almost and let Almost run wild. That's what this was set up to be, and I think it was done beautifully. This this wasn't going to be a 4-star, 5-star classic, and it didn't need to be. The story they told was just good enough, and the story was Almost is a beast, and you didn't want to. You shouldn't have wanted to try it. I kind of thought it was actually a good thing to have not to have Kofi and then not want to try him, and I also thought it was a good thing for not for Almost to kind of dominate both of them. As at 7'3", 400 pounds, that's what this should be. They have a thing with these big guys that they don't, they don't aren't dominating enough. And they did that with Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was really dominating. When he first came up, or not when he first came up, but when the when they split the brands again, and he was drafted to Raw, he was definitely dominating, and that's kind of cooled off now. But and I think he's perfect. He can learn from AJ Styles. I think being the tag guy is perfect. I don't think they need to. I don't think they have to work the match every time. But AJ Styles is the babyface, and then almost unless you're gonna turn them babyface. Now, if you turn them babyface, that's perfect, and it works fine. Then of course you get the hot tag. But if they're gonna continue to be heels, then yeah, some other things are going to have to happen. But It was really, really good. It was 2.5 stars, and again, like I said, it wasn't, the classic, but it didn't need to be. The stories they're told was perfect for what they were going for, and it was entertaining enough, and I loved it. Next was the steel cage match between Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. Elias to Jackson Ryder jumped on Strowman from the start, hit his leg with some chairs. So he had a weak leg, so that was the worker had Shane McMahon work over the leg a little bit with a steel chair. And then he had him do some kicks too, like I said, all kinds of the same tropes. Anything. But honestly, the big spot everybody gonna talk about from this match is Shane goes to the top, so does Braun Strowman. They go to some into the ring, bigger into the ring, and it's a bump from a high spot. It's a bump from it's a dangerous bump if you take it wrong. But when you look at it and they showed it in slow motion, you can see Shane took the bump perfectly. He took it on the upper meat part of his back, and it was perfect. It was a perfect bump. Perfect bump. Probably didn't hurt. You know, it probably hurt more than a normal bump, but it probably hurt less than his ridiculous jumps from the Hell in the Cell. So he good. Braun climbed down inside the ring, hit a running power slam 1, 2, 3, and we get a winner. It was a good match. I'd give it 3 stars. Nothing serious about this. You thought maybe this could have been a kind of bad. This could have been like a bad match, but it wasn't. Shane. When Shane wants to, not Shane wants to. When Shane does put everything into what he does, and rarely does he's a problem in a match. Yeah, he's rarely the problem. So. And then they gave us the 2020 class, Hall of Fame class. They did the thing where they brought him on, bring him out on stage and announce him and everything like that. And in case you guys may forget, the 2020 Hall of Fame class consisted of Jushin Thunder Liger, the British Bulldog, the Ray Smith, the Bella Twins, JBL, Hulk Hogan, and the NWO, and William Shatner was the celebrity one, and then Titus O'Neil got the Warrior Award for 2020. All of the good stuff he does as a WWE Global Ambassador, and so yeah, it was really good. Some of you also may realize that this was also supposed to be the class that Batista was in. However, they either the WWE or Batista or both entities wanted him to go in with fans. He wanted to be able to come out there and do his speech in front of actual live fans. So I'm guessing he will be one of. He will probably be he would be the second one next year, because I think they have to put Undertaker in next year. I think Undertaker goes in next year, and then Batista. So you have Batista and Undertaker as your co-main eventers for next year's Hall of Fame. Or he could go in a couple years in the Hollywood one. But I'm expecting The Rock to go in on the Hollywood. I'm expecting him to do both. I'm expecting him to go in on the Hollywood one, and then I'm expecting him to also wrestle at Mania against Moment. So, but great class of the Hall of Fame 2020. Next was Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and Morrison. And I'm telling you guys, I put this on Twitter. When you get a celebrity that is a wrestling fan, and they get ready and they do these matches are a lot better than when you just bring a celebrity. And I put on Twitter, I put on Twitter like Karl Malone. He's the exception to the rule. He had a pretty substandard match with him and DDP and things like that. But we talk about Shaq, you know, and you talk about Bad Bunny, you talk about Ronda Rousey, who then obviously signed and turned into career. Uh, and then, you know, I would think Maria Menounos as well. You know, the wrestling fans want they take this as seriously as you can. It's the non-wrestling fans that you worry about, right? Like Dennis Rodman. I don't think Dennis Rodman was a wrestling fan, at least at first. I just think he was probably a friend of Hulk Hogan. And then he was a friend of Hulk Hogan, and then ended up joining in with Hulk Hogan. I don't think LT was a wrestling fan, although LT had a very good match. Snooki, I've never heard Snooki talk about being a wrestling fan. But she had her match, and you can probably go on and on and on with all of the celebrity guys, Master P and the No Limit Soldiers, you know, and many other celebrity people, you know, just you know, they had their match, and it's just you know because they don't they're not wrestling fans, and they're not there to really take it seriously. They're there to they're there just to get their shit over, like Now, I'm talking about Kevin Federline, but I don't know. But whatever it is, it's always better to when you just celebrities. It's always better if they are wrestling fans because they know they respect the business like no other. If they're gonna go the extra mile for the business. Jack went through tables, you know, everything like that. Maria Menounos trained in backyards with of legitimate wrestlers who didn't have wrestling schools, but they set up stuff in backyards so that she could train for her wrestling matches. So it is what it is. So always better. And this one was no different. Bad Bunny, incredible selling, incredible stuff. There's some lucha, things with some handsprings and things like that, and tornado DDT. He started off, and he played the face in peril. He played Ricky Morton. Um, he did all of that. He was a really good seller. I think he also showed some fire in his comebacks. Made the hot tag to Damian Priest. Damian Priest showed what he can do, the flips and the kicks and everything like that. He was on fire. Great thing where they had Damian Priest do his little step up, dive over the ropes like that, and then San Benito, he went to the top and he did his dive, and then on the outside, out of nowhere, Bad Bunny delivers a Canadian destroyer to John Morrison, and the crowd goes crazy. Nobody can believe it. Miz can't believe it. Damian Priest can't believe it. The announcers can't believe it. And and this is so crazy. And then when you go to it and you come back and it's just wonderful. And it's This is really really cool. And then Damian Priest puts Miz on his shoulders, and they do a splash from Miz's shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Bunny jumps jumps onto Miz from Miz on Priest's shoulders, and they get the victory. So big ups from Bad Bunny again. He's worked his ass off from the legitimately from the Royal Rumble to the he's been going to the Performance Center every day, training and working and doing what he needs to do to do this wrestling. And he was fantastic tonight. And again, I'll say it again. Having celebs at WrestleMania, it's always been, and in wrestling in general, it's always been something. But it is so much better when the celebs are wrestling fans. Then they get the business, and they're not there to fuck it up. So really, really nice. I gave it 3.5 stars. Incredible. And then finally, the main event, which should not have been a main event, was only a main event because, like Michael Cole said, only 2 black women have, it'll be the first time ever 2 black women would main event WrestleMania. And then, to be honest with you, it's probably going to be the only time because WrestleMania is going back to, it's going to go back to one night, and you're not going to have women main event WrestleMania unless it's something like you had in WrestleMania 35. Because, like I said, at WrestleMania 34, after WrestleMania 34, there were already reports it was going to be Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in the main event of WrestleMania 35 because of the mainstream attention that Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair would bring. So if you get something like that again, where you can get someone like Ronda Rousey, get someone like Charlotte Flair, who has the mainstream appeal, and you can and you can tell a good story, and you can someone like that, put them in with someone that also either has mainstream appeal or has someone like that. I would not be surprised if Ronda Rousey did come back. I wouldn't be surprised if the main event would be the 4 horsewomen of MMA versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE. And they main evented maybe WrestleMania. I would not be surprised about that because again, it's still Ronda Rousey. But yeah, so my criticisms of them being the main event aside, this was a really good match. As you knew it would be. I think these two they told a good story about Bianca's power, something like that, and could Sasha Banks' cunning and guile and maybe even cheating overcome, could she overcome, the power of Bianca Belair? And she really couldn't do it. She tried a lot. She grabbed that hair a lot, tried to use that hair as a weapon for Bianca. Didn't work. She escaped a lot of Bianca's moves and used her agility to do so. Like in the bank statement once, but it couldn't. It couldn't. Went to the ropes and grabbed the ropes. Yeah, but we had a great match, and then the KOD after a delicious hair whip from Bianca Belair left an actual scar on Sasha Banks, and that's something that they can use, right away, right away. There's even though Sasha Banks has been acting heel, you can't even say that she's really turned for it. She hasn't had that moment where it's just she's done the dastardly deed to do so, but that could be what makes it. And she can come up on SmackDown Friday and just destroy Bianca Belair, and try to break her leg, or anything like that. So it's incredible. Bianca Belair with the KOD won, became the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and really good for her. It's a really, really good thing. I think it's um, someone said, I wonder if we are going to be going away from the 4 horsewomen with Becky Lynch being a mother, Bailey not Bailey not booked in a wrestling on the show. She was on the show. She did a wrestling skit, and then she won't do it to the Hall of Fame stuff. But with Bailey not booked to wrestle and they Charlotte Flair taking off, and then now Sasha Banks with this, are they going to be moving away from just having the 4 horsewomen just be the main parts of the women division, especially now with Bianca Belair winning and possibility of Rhea Ripley winning tomorrow would have been happening, and I won't say that won't be a bad thing. I mean, yeah, because I mean, listen, Charlotte is Charlotte's getting opportunities left and right. Charlotte is getting she's got an opportunity to do a female version of Walking Tall. Charlotte is going to have many other TV opportunities. Charlotte has talked about possibly wanting children She roughly wants children, so at some point she's going to be, we already got Lacey Evans is already pregnant. But, Becky Lynch has already had her baby, so and now we're going to have, Charlotte Flair may start to have children as well. So it's always good. The women probably the women need to change probably more than the men do. The men, we can have Roman and Drew and Lashley and Edge and Randy Orton, in like main event slots for years, for years at a time. Because just because of their nature, but yes, because of the women and what they do and what they may want out of life for themselves, just things like that. Um, they may, someone may want kids, they want that family, they want, they just maybe just want to do other things, they don't want to beat up their body for, the rest of the time, So it's all good. So if we're going to lean into a new generation of women, with maybe Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley leading the way, I think that's a good start to it. I really do. The match I gave it as 3 and 3/4 stars. Again, it was really, really good. But again, overall, this was a great first night of WrestleMania. We had a weather delay, which is unreal. Um, First time that's ever happened, but first night wrestling from the fans in over a year, a month and a day, from what Titus O'Neil said. Nothing was horrible on this show. Everything was good to great. Um, and yeah, it was fantastic. So I can't say a bad word about it. But can you? Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know how you guys felt about night one of WrestleMania. Did you like it? Did you didn't? What was your favorite match? What was your worst favorite match? Let me know what you think about everything that went down. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click the notification bell because I will be going live after tomorrow night, night 2. Some big things going on and should be fun. You know what? Really quick before we go, let's check the predictions. The night 1 match card. Who did I have? I had Drew McIntyre winning. He lost. I had Cesaro. I had Strowman. I had Bunny and Priest. I had Belair. I had AJ Styles and Omos, and I had Natalya and Tamina. 7 matches went 6-1 for night 1. Unreal, unreal. And this was kind of pretty. I to be honest with you, I think this first one was kind of pretty easy to predict. Again, and the WWE Championship match was kind of a, I leaned towards Drew McIntyre, but I definitely could have seen Bobby Lashley winning, and especially I primarily picked Drew McIntyre because of I thought they were going on last, and you want to send the crowd home, at least on the first night home, because I predicted Reigns would win the second night, and so you wouldn't really send the fans home happy. Maybe you would because you would send them home happy with David, him and Daniel, and they would have a fantastic match, but you know that. And tomorrow is going to be very interesting to see how the fans react to this new Roman Reigns. The last time the fans saw Roman Reigns, he was a babyface. He was a babyface, talking smack to Goldberg. But now, will he be? Um, but now we have this new head of the table heel. It's almost psychotic, psychopathic heel. That manipulative, that manipulated his cousin, to be his right hand man and everything like that. It's real good. Real. It's a complicated but very thought out character from this man. So it's going to be interesting to see how the fans react to Roman on night 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing out. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. I am out.